Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zod. Anyways, man, as you can see, I'm in the car once again. I chose to do it in the car instead of just, you know, it's just a whole different experience. Some people were like, you should do like the Cypress Hill and just have people smoking out. But since I don't smoke, yes, got myself, it's, you know, I didn't really see a need to. But besides that, basically, this is going to be a video talking about the video that I just put out with even more information. Now, I'm not going to get into detail and tell you about certain things because that would be, it's really not, I won't say it's not really none of my business, but it's just like those type of details. If you're trying to figure out or find out about them, there's so many social media outlets that will give you exact info on these particular you know, whether and the reason I say that is like, you know, some people want to know what type of federal case it is and what exactly does the time carry. I won't say I'm not necessarily privy to federal cases because there's a lot of homies that have did federal time and probably know a lot about the subject. But as far as like going to detail exactly what each case carries, I know nothing about that. You know what I mean? But that's besides the point. What I wanted to touch on is the fact that in the past I've went at Vlad a few different times and actually called him a fed. You know what I mean? And that's for various reasons because mostly everybody that has went on his thing and said certain things have been busted. So, you know, when you feed into the mass, you tend to take on the same ideals as them. Not necessarily ideals, but you tend to, you know, absorb that same rhetoric. Like, okay, he's a fed. When in fact, like, I'm just going to be honest, I don't believe he's a fed. Does he cooperate? Does he cooperate them and corroborate certain things? Yes. And not necessarily coming out his mouth, but the simple fact that if you look at his interviews, he goes straight for the juicy shit off the bat. He never slides back. He never asks him anything about their family. He just goes for the juicy. Oh, I heard you had beef with this. So how many stabbings did this? And how many? So you didn't have no beef with this person, and he got shot. So you had nothing to do with that. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, for the people that have came on the channel and say, oh, Vlad this, Vlad ain't this, Vlad ain't that. Vlad is a dirtbag, plain and simple fact. And as a person, just knowing his character, just off the basis of what he acts on most of his videos, he's a dirtbag because he wants you to say things. Not. Let me just back that up. He's not the type of person that you know, takes this information and is something that he absorbs himself. He puts people on his platform and goes after the most juiciest details because he knows that that's what his audience is going to want. And a lot of people on social media want to see that. They want to hear either about somebody got killed, who killed. People nowadays figure that they have to know. Like, you could be talking about Tupac. They have to know where he's at, if he died, and if he died, who killed him, with what weapon did they kill him with. That's the type of you know, times that we live in now. Before, it was mostly that we didn't have all this social media and a lot of people tended to mind their business, but now everybody feels entitled to know. You know, they feel entitled. They feel like they if there's information, they should know it. Why? Because it's that type of era. Now, I'm not going to get too much on Vlad. All I'm going to say is he knows what he does. And a lot of it, to be honest, is just ratings. That's all he's going after. He puts these people on their platform with the hopes of them getting even more exposure, which he does. He does a service. He gives people more exposure. But in a lot of cases, he gets them that negative exposure as well. Because he knows for a fact that the feds and the cops and everybody pay attention to this channel. Just like these channels that choose to expose absolutely everything about everything, they pay attention to it because they know that gullible, braggadocious motherfuckers, like, you know, no shot at Casanova, but they know people like that's gonna get on there and talk. If anybody, if they learned anything, they should just watch what's his name, Pee Wee Long. His interview, he avoided absolutely everything because he knew that it was only gonna incriminate him. So, are you a Crip? I'm assuming that's the one. He avoided everything. Why? Because it wasn't Vlad's business. But a lot of people feel that this is the only way to get on, to tell absolutely everything. I watched Casanova's interview. And like I said, I'm a Casanova fan. G Herbo fan as well. But Casanova 2 times got on there and told absolutely everything on himself. every stabbing that he did in prison, when he goes back to prison, that he's gonna be the man that people bringing him money, how many scams he did. He even said something that was a little funny, knowing that a lot of statutory, you know what I mean, the statute of limitation in a lot of cases don't even, you know, don't even count when you're whatever. But I'm not gonna go into that. But he went on and he said that his homeboy got busted for a federal case, and he thought that that's what he was gonna get busted for the first time when he did it, because he was scamming, and they did all this scamming, and he put it out there. So Vlad does his job. Vlad makes videos on prominent rappers and people that are controversial, knowing that people are gonna tune in to watch the interviews that are not as juicy. He gets his views because his subscribers, but he don't get as many views as those that go in there and tell absolutely everything. That's like last time with the BG knockout. He knew that it would be controversy. We do go in there and say all Mexicans are snitches, and that what our Constitution is telling, as long as it's not on our own. He knew that it was going to stir up drama, and it did. It stirred up a little drama, but it also pulled out the fact that his brother was a rapist or whatever. You know what I mean? And so I noticed on certain scenes, that dude's been pretty quiet, but he knows that by putting out certain things and titling a certain way, people are going to tune in because they want to see everything. They want to see people tell. But do I think he got Casanova caught up? In a sense, yeah, because he didn't have to go after certain things, but Casanova 2 times was readily just, let the information out there. All the stabbings, how do you know about anything of that? It's because dude chose to speak on it. And that's the one thing that I talk about all the time, man. Like when you're at that level, which I'm not, you got to be careful on what you say, what you do. Casanova 2 times had already put itself on the radar. So what happened? The feds went and got their paperwork, their warrants, in order to be able to go into his IG and see exactly who he was talking to, what type of conversation was taking place, and he was putting it out there as plain as day. Exactly, I need this, I need that, take this here, do this. So they were on him. Not only somebody said something along the lines, they had wiretaps on him. It's like, man, people don't understand, man. When you're dealing with fraud, once you start making a certain level of money, the cops are on you. And if you put out, see, before people could say things in raps and the cops would overlook it because they didn't really care. People say about guns on social media. If you know anything about the Teenage magazine, homie used to post up with guns and do all types of stuff. But you had other cats that start putting us up on game and like, don't do that, because a lot of time they were getting serial numbers off the gun. They were like, okay, well, this fool just got killed with a 9mm, and in the video you had on that post you had on your picture you had a 9mm. So where's that gun? Show me the gun if you don't believe, if that's not the gun that killed him. If not, you're going to jail for his murder. And a lot of people went down for that because it's like, he got killed with you had a 9mm in the picture, you're a felon with a gun. Where's the gun at? Oh, well, you can't show us that gun that proves that wasn't the one that killed the guy. So that's how a lot of fools got caught up. So social media showing guns is nothing new. It's social media, and it's a lot more out there now. It's not just like you had to see it on a piece of paper or you came up with a photo when you raided a homie's house or something like that. But yeah, that's what the video was all about. Like, these cats continuously go on VladTV knowing that he's only going for the most juiciest details, and they be so happy to give it up. Why? Because it's a reputation thing. The whole thing about the cops overlooking, the feds overlooking a lot of, they did because they had other fish to fry. They had other motherfuckers to carry to catch that were actually out there doing. But now that they know that a lot of these rappers are actually doing what the fuck they say, like, people tend to like downplay and be like, oh, rappers are just all talk. No, there's a lot of them actually doing exactly what they say. And if they're not doing exactly what they say, they put it out there that they homeboy. How many songs have you heard, oh, my homeboy dropped this? And they'll go into like what the gun was. He shot him 30 times. And some of it be fabricated, but some of it's not. And when cats get busted, they're surprised. So Casanova as sad as it was, you know what I mean, screwed itself. And now they're trying to, you got some other channels talking about he ordered a hit on a 15-year-old in a whole different city. All this shit that he put on camera is going to trial with him. If he goes to trial, he don't get no deal or nothing. All that is going to be thrown in his face. Big Hurt would know more about a federal case because he's did Fed time, you know what I mean? So, and he was a bookworm, well, as far as the ones that were in a law library. I used to do law library every once in a while, but that's because I was fighting, you know, trying to get out the hole, you know what I mean? They were constantly trying to apply time and didn't want to, but anyways, that's besides the point. But so he would know a lot more on federal cases, but it's like they say, once the Fed get on you, they don't let you go. And the thing that makes me a little bit like woo is because, like I said, Casanova 2 times said in that if a millionaire is facing 20 years, he's gonna snitch. Now it's gonna come down to, was he talking? Is he talking from something that he planned on doing, or you know what I mean? It's like when in this game, regardless of how solid motherfucker, you always looking. You're not always looking, but you always expect the worst because a lot of cats have folded. Now, before I end this video, this is all I want to say. If you go on Vlad, you know he's gonna ask you questions that could be detrimental to your life. Questions that can put you back in prison or practically or possibly put you in prison because whether you or somebody you know implicated you in something. And it's funny, look at, think about it like this. Why does Vlad ask certain questions? That's all. Why certain questions? And then these same freaking questions turn around and be on these indictments. He not a Fed, but I know somewhere or another he got something to do with something, because it's just like the cats that he goes after. But that's all I'm gonna say on that, man. You can, you know, you tell me what you think. And yeah, this is gossip, you know what I mean? But it's a gossip that's just trying to figure shit out and try to open people's minds to exactly what your braggadocious nature can do to you. And still to this, they're still coming up with stuff on Casanova, man. I don't know, man. This should be an added deterrent. This should be something that the kids that follow should look back on and be like, you know what? Even if you talk gangster in your raps, if it's something that you did, but you're not incriminating yourself, go ahead, man. Today's age, people are suffering. People need money. They're doing what they got to do to get ahead. But don't incriminate yourself and get yourself twisted in order to get 5 seconds of fame. Because that's all people hear. Bam, oh yeah, you smoke this food. They're like, rah, rah. They go talking, and before you know it, there's some type of something coming up on you. Because whether you had anything to do with the shooting or not, that massive shooting over here that you possibly could have been involved in. So, whoop, now the feds is raiding your house, cops raiding your house, whatever. Moral of the story, man, keep your mouth shut. Don't talk about shit that you did unless you've already paid for it. You know what I'm saying? But also be careful of the shootings, because there's a lot of us that be out here, you know what I'm saying, spitting this shit, a shooting. You already did time for it, but what you don't understand is if the motherfucker dies in the future, they can always come back and try to be like, you know what, well, he died because complications of that shooting. So now you got a life sentence. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you got to be careful. Be more think more constructive when you're putting certain shit out there in the media. That's all I'm gonna say on that, man. Hopefully Casanova gets freed, and hopefully a lot of these social media outlets that are actually, you know, incriminate them theirself, like literally putting out like, oh, he made a hit over here, he put a hit out on here. Refrain from doing that. You know what I mean? Let him fight his case. He get out. If he don't, being braggadocious, that's what it will cost you. And hopefully, like I said, for his family, they well off, you know what I mean? Because Fed cases, from what I've seen, yeah, it's hard to beat them. On that, on your boy Zod, and I will be back at you with something different. On that note, you enjoy the rest of your night, and I'm out.